Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my reaction to the first episode of Wandering Sun. So, this was the poll winner for the new Friday anime slot, and yeah, it won pretty heartily in the end. As I mentioned in the poll result video, the results kind of like switched on and off, and it was very close for a lot of time. Even at the end, Wandering Sun and Squid Girl actually were fighting for the top spot for a little. But in the end, Wandering Sun won. So most of you want me to check this out. Now, this is a series, from what I know, it's about a trans boy. I think it's middle school age. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think it is. And I don't know much of anything else about it. I might have read or heard something about it in the past, but just don't remember. I have heard from other trans anime fans, though, online, that this is a must-see series if you are, well, trans. And I am. I am a trans girl. And so this is definitely something I've been wanting to check out pretty much since I heard of it. Now, I don't know how good it's going to be. I do know, just from looking for images for the channel banner and stuff, that it has a really interesting looking art style. It's very, well, just for lack of a better word, artistic. It has this unique, just this bright, almost canvas drawn looking style. And it really helps it stand out amongst other anime. Now, based on the fact that this is, like, again, from what I've heard, about a trans person, not just featuring one, but actually about them, I assume it's going to be more slice of life focused with a little bit of drama thrown in. I don't think there's going to be much romance, though, I mean, there might be. It's very possible. But it's definitely not going to be, like, obviously really exciting or action-based. This series is going to be, like, obviously focused more around its characters and its story. So this is a series that possibly could get boring at times. It's a series that possibly could get a little slow. And I'm ready for that. I acknowledge that. Now, I also believe this series is only about 12 episodes long. I did get the first episode off of Kiss Anime, but I wasn't like paying too much attention to the total length of the series. But I believe it's only about 12 episodes long, which isn't a lot to deal with. And honestly, with this series, I'm hoping to watch all of it. Even if it ends up being a little boring or whatnot at points, I'm really hoping to be able to get through all of it. Again, with any series, the only way I'll drop it is if I have no interest in continuing. Or I feel it would just make something better to watch on my own time. But I'm going to try my damnedest to get through it on these reactions. So yeah. We'll just kind of go from there and see what happens. Hopefully this is good. And I'm really, really interested in checking this out. Thank you all for voting on the poll. Thank you all for choosing. Even if you didn't select this series, thank you all for voting anyways, for whatever you did vote for. Not Denpa Kyoshi, though. That got 0 votes. Either way. We're just going to get this started. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts, and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we will begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay. So this was a good first episode. It was mostly introducing us to a lot of things, so I wouldn't say there's not a lot of meat to the episode. There definitely is. But there's definitely it's not really starting with any big storylines or anything like that right off the bat. We more along the lines of learning. Blah, 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 blah. It's more along the lines of learning about the characters and who just generally who they are and how they feel about things and all of that. So our main character is Shuichi Nitori. Shuichi Nitori is a girl who was assigned male at birth. In school, she will wear the male uniform and act the part, but sometimes when she's out of school, she'll dress in more effeminate clothing. She has a wig. She just bought a hairpin in this episode. Stuff like that. And sometimes she can get into trouble with it, like with her sister and her sister's friend in this episode, where she wore her sister's dress without permission, which admittedly was not the right thing to do. Like, it's your sister's dress, it was apparently for a photo shoot. You don't just wear that without permission. Now, Shuichi apparently used to do photo shoots too, which, that flashback where we saw her dress up with her sister and her sister's friend, I assume that was around that time. And during those photo shoots, she probably was able to dress as a girl, and that's probably where she started to realize how she truly felt about all of that. And I like that. I like how it comes across as really realistic and natural. It's not like just forcing this idea on us, like, oh, just kind of like throwing it in our faces, kind of like drowning us in the idea. It's more like, no, okay, so she started modeling with her sister and her sister's friend. She, because of her cute looks, she was put into dresses and wigs and stuff, and passed off as a girl, and she started to realize, naturally, that she preferred that. That she preferred dressing in those clothes, that she preferred having the wig on, that's who she was. And then there's our other main character, Yoshino Takatsuki. And Takatsuki is a athletic type. He's young, he's athletic, and he presents very masculine. However, he is assigned female at birth. And when he sees this other girl at school, wearing a male uniform, and her response to him is just like, oh, this is just what I felt like wearing today. Maybe tomorrow I'll wear my street clothes. And it's like, it almost seemed to inspire him. He meets a friend at what looked like some kind of little restaurant or something. Maybe a cafe. He met his friend there, and she had gotten him a male uniform. And he was ecstatic about it. And we can see that he definitely prefers, when in public, to present more as a male. Because, I mean, yeah, that's pretty common for trans boys to do. Just like it's common for trans girls to want to present more feminine. Now, that's not always the case. Sometimes trans girls will present in a more gender-neutral or masculine manner. And sometimes trans boys will present in a more gender-neutral or feminine manner. It's different because gender presentation and gender identity are two different things. You can present a different way than you typically identify. And a lot of people chalk this up to gender roles and everything, and clothing having no gender. And that you shouldn't just stick to that idea that, like, oh, boys can't dress femininely or girls can't dress masculine. And it's like, sure, that's fair enough. I mean, personally, I love to dress more feminine. I don't have a lot of clothes and opportunities to do so, though. So a lot of the times I dress either pretty gender neutral or what would be, I guess, considered masculine. I mean, most of the time I'm wearing t-shirts or collar shirts like this. Most of my pants are sweatpants or pajama pants. I don't wear jeans. I have 2 dresses. I have some blouses. I have that kind of stuff. I had some leggings, but unfortunately they all got holes in them. They were older already when I got them. They were pre-used. But it's like I prefer to dress femininely. I just don't get as many opportunities because just a lot of my family and all isn't super into that, isn't super accepting. And I mean, around the house, I don't wear my breast forms. But like if I ever go out, pretty much anywhere these days, I do. When I go to the bar on Thursdays, when I go to Bible study on Wednesdays, when I go to church on Sundays, I always wear my breast forms out, tucked into my bra, because it just helps me. It helps me just feel and present more feminine. And I mean, you look at my face, I have what a lot of people would consider a masculine face. I don't have super feminine features. I have to constantly shave my arms and my mustache and beard and whatnot, my facial hair. I have to constantly, whenever I'm going to like some kind of special occasion or party or stuff, I'll put on makeup or stuff to try and make myself look more feminine. I'm growing out my hair. I dye it blonde, thanks to help from my godmother. And it's like, I do everything I can to try and seem more feminine because, I mean, I can't get the surgeries or take HRT right now. I don't have the ability to. And I don't know if I ever will. So I do as much as I can. And what we see with these characters is that they're doing as much as they can. When outside of school, they tend to dress more akin to how they present, how they identify. And yet everyone around them we see is still referring to them by the wrong pronouns because that's what people know. And I hate that, but it's true. In society, transgender people are still not the norm. We're not, and a lot of people will refer to us by the wrong pronouns. But there's always people who will. The day before New Year's, I went up to the liquor store, just a short walk down the street. I got a bottle of bourbon to celebrate New Year's with, which I still have in the fridge, actually. Funny enough, I haven't actually drank it all yet. It's pretty strong. It's 90 proof. But the point is, I grabbed a bottle of bourbon, and I had my breast forms in at the time. And the guy called me ma'am. The guy behind the counter. It's like, he seemed pretty, like he wasn't paying a super huge amount of attention to things. He seemed really like out of it, you could say. Not just to me, but to the other customers too. But he still called me ma'am. After I paid him and left, he said, "Have a good day, ma'am." And it's like I've experienced that before too when I've gone places. And it's like there are people who will call you by that. Who will call you by your preferred name or pronouns or whatever. And it's like, there's a lot of people who won't, but there are those who will, and those people make it worth it. So yeah, we see these 2 characters, and apparently they used to date, and Yoshino's friend, when giving him the male's school uniform and all, even said, like, that the boyfriend ended up being the girlfriend, and the girlfriend ended up being the boyfriend. And I just really like that. Because she clearly didn't care. It's like, that's just the way it was. And that was just really cool. And I was wrong, by the way. I was saying Sayori was the one. During the reaction, I was saying Sayori was the guy. But no, it's actually Yoshino Takatsuki. Um, uh, Sayori is a different character. Da, 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 da. I'm trying to find the name of the character who is, I was trying to find who the name of the character who was the girl in the male uniform and all, who said she was just like just how she felt. I don't know her name yet, I guess. I couldn't figure out exactly who it was, so yeah, well. But yeah, so far this seems pretty good. I like where this is seemingly going so far. I like these characters. I like how real it feels. Like, just the fact of Shuichi going into the guy's restroom, changing into all of her feminine clothing and stuff, and then having to peek out and wait for it to be clear to run out and everything. As you saw her pass by the female restroom and seeing the focus on the sign, it's like, yeah, it was very clear what it was trying to say, and it's like it didn't hit us over the face with it. Again, it was symbolic. I don't know why I said it that way. It was symbolic. It was it was very, I wouldn't say subtle. It was not what I'd call subtle, but it was more of showing and not telling, and I think that's probably going to be the strongest point of this series. It feels like it's going to be a show that's going to be about show and not tell. That it's going to let us understand what's going on without actually forcing it down our throats and having and making a point about telling us outright what's going on and everything, which is important. And then there are the questions that was asked at the beginning and the end and throughout and all, like, what makes a boy? What makes a girl? And these are questions that trans individuals do question. It's like, what is it that truly makes me a boy? Or what is it that truly makes me a girl? What are these so-called determining factors in our lives? And I believe at the end, let me just try to find that again. It's just the difference between wanting to wear boys' clothes. The one said that. I think that's Yoshino. A lot of their designs are very similar. But I think that's Yoshino at the end who's saying that. The difference is, yeah, because at the beginning it's Shuichi who's sitting in the classroom alone and giving that kind of narration. Shuichi's sitting there at the beginning, and at the end it's Yoshino. And Yoshino's like, let me try to find the exact moment here. I have it muted, so hold on. I'm just trying to find, because I want to get the exact quote right here. So we see Shuichi nod off to sleep, saying, I should be able to sleep well tonight. Okay, I think I skipped it. It's just the difference between wanting to wear boys' clothes and wear girls' clothes. Yeah, I think I missed the exact moment where it started. Oh well. Either way. But yeah, that's really, I mean, it's obviously much more than that. Obviously, there's a lot more to it than that, but I think this is one of those shows that is going to kind of show them growing up. I think it's going to show, like, this is where they're starting out, and at this point, that's how they're viewing it. Now, there's obviously a lot more of it. A lot more to it than just clothing. It's also about your physical appearance and whatnot, and various other things. Now, one thing that I'm hoping to see in here, and I hate that I hate that I'm saying that I hope to see it because it sucks. But I'm hoping to see gender dysphoria shown, because that's a huge part that a lot of trans people go through, and not everyone does. Not every trans person has it, but I would say most trans people do face it to some degree. Some less than others, but to some degree. And what it basically means is that you actually have a lot of issues with, in a lot of times, being forced to present as the assigned gender you were given at birth rather than your actual gender. It can be anywhere from like anxiety and panic attacks to feeling really anxious and depressed whenever you're wearing your assigned gender clothing. Stuff like that. It is something I do face, something I personally suffer under. And a lot of times it can help be relieved by things just like by people calling you again by your preferred name, by your true pronouns. It can be helped by wearing clothes for your true gender and various things like that. And again, I hate to say I want to see that in here because I don't want to see any trans person face that horrible, horrible feeling, but I think it's something that would help get the point across with these characters. And I'm just really hoping to see both positive and negative reinforcement as well. And again, I hate to see negative reinforcement, but I think it's necessary to tell this kind of story. But I want there to be positive. I want to see both sides of things, because that will help. That will help really hammer this thing home. But either way, these are just my thoughts on the series based on the first episode. Who knows where it's going to go in its run? And again, I believe it's 12 episodes. Let me make sure on that real quick. Okay. Yeah, 12 episode anime adaptation. But only 11 aired on television, with episodes 10 and 11 edited into a single double-length episode. Okay, so episodes 10 and 11 are technically one episode. It's just double length. So there's 11/12 episodes, depending on how you want to look at it. The episodes were released as individual episodes on their respective BD, DVD volumes. Yes, Shuichi. The story depicts a young student named Shuichi Nitori, described by the author as a transgender girl, and Shuichi's friend Yoshino Takatsuki, described as a transgender boy. The series deals with issues such as being transgender, gender identity, and the beginning of puberty. Well, I mean, judging on their age, yeah, that would be a big thing. Well, this is going to be interesting. I have a lot of hope in this series. And again, this first episode was a great start. So tell me your thoughts down in the comments below, and thank you all so much for tuning in, and thank you for voting for this in the poll. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See you all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles,